Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Tyler. Welcome to the new thing, the Popping Questions podcast. I have my special guest. If you want to introduce yourself, man.
What's up, boss? My name is Eli Margolis, and I am the new Frank, as they say.
So, man, I want to ask you, like, why did you want to start up the Filthy Frank thing? And also, being Frank is also a really fucking big thing to take on because he was the original one of the original guys to say fuck you to what YouTube is trying to promote as family friendly image.
Yes. So, as far as the motivation, I've known Frank since 2014. I had some high school friends introduce him to me. We were, hanging out one day, and somebody was like, "Hey, watch this!" And it was the fireworks challenge. I think that was the first ever video I saw of theirs, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is so funny!" Right? It's just a bunch of guys shooting fireworks at each other's asses, and it's obviously super painful, but it's really funny. And from there, throughout kind of my second half of high school, I just got really into it, and I think Filthy Frank helped me kind of find my own sense of humor in terms of I've always, since day one, just wanted to be the funny guy, right? I love making people laugh. I love making people smile. So, with middle school, which can be a harsh environment at times, people were just like, dude, you're trying too hard, basically. I would always just try to be like, oh, random lol XD, right? But, middle school, kids can rip you a new one every day, and so I just, I didn't have the best time throughout middle school, but in high school, because of people like Mr. Miller, I was able to be like, damn, sometimes it's okay to just let loose and kind of not care what other people think and just say what's on your mind. And through that kind of improvisational comedy, as opposed to just being random, I was really able to kind of find my voice, not just in comedy, but just kind of in general. And so that was one of the major factors, because obviously we all know he stopped making the Frank videos and turned into Joji. He went off to make some R&B alternative music, and it's been 2 years, and so recently I was just like, I've kind of plateaued content wise, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to Chinatown. I'm gonna buy that shirt. I'm gonna put it on. I get the glasses. I got everything, and then I'm gonna sit in front of the camera and see what I can do. And so, started doing the voice. I got more into the character. I started going back, watching all the old videos. I got in contact with one of my close collaborators, Joe M Films, who I work with on a lot of stuff. He is one of Logan Paul's main editors, which is a bit of a controversial thing, but he's a good guy, and he's very talented. Self-taught. He dropped out of high school to start working and do freelance YouTube work. And so I worked with him on this first lore video, and that's where it all started.
Next question. Did he edit the Suicide Force video?
No. he is Japanese, and I don't think he found that to be the most tasteful thing towards his people. So I think he was a little like, So there was a time period where he didn't work as closely with Logan because of stuff like that. But then more recently, Logan seems to have kind of chilled out a lot more. So they seem to be back in cahoots.
Yeah, I understand. They took away his YouTube movie for 6 months. I think it
was. They should have just gotten rid of his monetization, if you ask me. But that's a whole other podcast worth of ranting.
Yeah, PewDiePie says the N-word, and he gets everybody gets fucked, but Logan feels dead people and tastes dead rats, and oh, it's okay. He's just a kid.
Hey, a little slap on the wrist. No, it's okay, honey. I'll tell the bad man to go away.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. It embodies what's wrong with YouTube nowadays, and it's part of the reason I'm very nervous making these Frank videos and kind of going full force with them. Which a lot of people have been commenting about, hey man, this is great and all, but you should really go for it. You should be loud and noisy. And I'm just like, I don't know. Not only is it kind of a health issue, as far as we've seen that with Joji. He had to quit partially because of his throat, right? And he wanted to be a singer, so he's like, I can't do this anymore. Even if I still liked making the videos, which he didn't, he would have to quit either way. So for me, I'm just trying to prevent that ahead of time. So people are like, be loud, be noisy, be like, say the N word. And I'm just like, like, yes, that is all part of that character. But, I have to have somewhat of a threshold or I'm just going to get sniped by YouTube. Like that shit's going to get taken down super quick, right? Because just of how backwards the whole system works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not saying to keep it PG. I can't keep a fucking character like Filthy Frank PG, but what I tell people in the comments is I'm gonna try to be as filthy as possible without doing stuff that would get me instantly like taken down. So that there is a balance and that I have to find, and so baby steps. These first couple of videos weren't as filthy as people may have liked, but I'm still proud of them. I think they're pretty fantastic pieces of work as far as the first one being a very collaborative effort, the second one being very spontaneous and bringing back, a classic series. People love Loser Reads Hater Comments. So I was excited to put that out, and I don't know, we'll see where it goes, man. It's crazy. I didn't expect it to really blow up this much. It's my path to stardom. We'll see. I'll still connect with you when I'm famous. Don't worry.
Also, speaking of like monetization and stuff like that, I think Max Mofo said like Frank quit at the perfect time because it was right as like the apocalypse is hitting and all this shit. Do you ever think like if this even gets bigger, would you move to something like Patreon or something like that?
So, two things. That is a great point. I do agree with what Max said in Chad's podcast. I do think, in retrospect, at the time I was pissed, right? I was just like, what the fuck? Like, he quit making Frank videos to go make shitty, like, music, whatever this was. I was salty, right? Like, a few of the fans were, and, some people were more okay with the transition. I was pretty, him being such an inspiration to me, I was kind of not happy with that at the time. But I do agree with now, realizing just how hard YouTube has like hit the shit or whatever that expression is. It's just lost my train of thought. It's frustrating. Yeah, that transition was frustrating, but it's good that he did quit when he did, because YouTube would probably start taking down his videos if he kept making them nowadays, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And so if I were to necessarily like get big, like you're saying, no, I wouldn't do Patreon. I wouldn't do any of that. I'm making these purely for people to just enjoy them. Like I'm not trying to get anything out of this. You know what I mean? I just like making content. I love Frank. I still find his videos amazing. I always go back and watch them, and I want to give people something new to chew on. You know what I mean? I want to reinvigorate that feeling. And so no, I'm not going to monetize them. First of all, because I'm not doing it for the money, but second of all, it would probably get demonetized just because of the language. You know what I mean? You really can't even say fuck like without them just taking it down. So it's difficult to even want to monetize stuff nowadays unless you're able to just censor it and just, be super G-rated about everything. To wrap that whole tangent up, yeah, Max was right. He did quit at the right time, but I think it's been long enough that I am able to, start doing like a fan series. And that's really what it is too. I want people to understand that it is a fan series. I'm not trying to replace Frank. So many comments are saying like, how dare you stood where he stand and blah, blah, this, that, and yeah, all this shit, to the point where YouTube thought it was like a spam comment. It just stopped letting people post that because so many people were saying, how dare you stood where he standed or whatever the fuck. So, I'm not doing this to gain anything. I just, again, it all goes back to me just always wanting to be the funny guy. I just want to make people laugh. You know what I mean? I like making people smile. And the fantastic thing is, so many people have been leaving really nice, positive comments. The scariest thing was posting the second video. The first one I was pretty confident about, right? I was like, all right, cool. It's a lore video. It's got some special effects. It's got Chin Chin, Pink Guy makes a little cameo. It's got a good mix of like each era as far as like early Frank and later Frank. And I was just like, cool, put that out, boom, whatever. The second video, the Loser Reads Hater comments, I was so nervous to put it out because I was like thinking about, about all that stuff earlier in terms of like the demonetization and what if somebody takes it down, blah blah blah, this and that, and what if people don't like it? What if it just doesn't like resonate? They're just like, oh, the first one was cool, blah blah blah. The second one, it's called the sophomore effect. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, an artist comes out with a really good debut album, right? The scariest step for them is to prove that they can like continue and not be a one-hit wonder, right? They have to put out a good second album. And the sophomore jinx is where they don't, and they totally like, flop. Or it's the best example is like Weezer's Blue album and then Pinkerton, or I can't even think of other examples, but that is the epitome of the sophomore effect, right? You come out with this amazing, gold platinum selling album, and then you put all this work and effort into this second album, and it just, people don't like it. They're just like, this is shit. Oh, the other one was License to Ill and Paul's Boutique, Beastie Boys. The funny thing is those both later, Pinkerton and Paul's Boutique, became like sleeper albums. Like those are considered some of the artist's best albums nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could have gone either way. The point is, I was very nervous posting that second video, and I'm very glad that it's been doing as well as it has been. Just purely because I was worried about it, and I think now I'm at the point where I can just start posting stuff, and hopefully people will just enjoy it for the most part. Obviously, there's still going to be haters, but to be honest, I am thankful for that because I need hate comments to read. So keep them coming. You know what I'm saying? I need them for real, and I think there's just so many perfect things about this character in this series for that reason. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I can do whatever. My skin can be terrible. I can be a total mess. I don't have to clean my place. I can get all the hate comments, and all of that can just be used to help build this character. You know what I mean? Like, nothing can really take me down unless I take any of it personally, which at first I did. At first I was kind of a pussy about it, right? Like I've never had a video blow up like that. You know what I mean? And so, I get like 30, 50 views. The most views I have on my personal channel is like 800. It's the video of me spitting egg on my friend's dog. Have you seen that one?
No. And what the fuck?
So if you want later, go to my channel. There's a video called Doggo Gets Yoked and Eaten Alive. And I won't say anything else about it, but you can go watch that. It's me and my friend. And what's funny is my friend is doing a Frank voice. My friend Andy he's like, oh, hello, we're doing a cooking video, blah blah blah. And I just think it's proof that we've always done Frank related stuff, and that Frank related stuff is always done well. Anyways, I totally lost tangent. What was your question?
I can't fucking remember, but you were talking about earlier about his music nowadays. You don't really like his music. I want to.
Yes.
What's your opinion on that?
Polarizing opinion. I know most people will not agree with me, but I am kind of part of the vocal minority of people that believe that his music is just not that interesting. A lot of it has grown on me. I'll start from the beginning, right? 2015, peak Frank videos. All of his best shit came out that year, in my opinion. He drops Chloe Burbank, which is Tom and You Suck Charlie, which to this day I still believe are his is his magnum opus. This is two best songs he's ever worked on. I think those two songs are beautiful and just experimental enough that it is like weird but not like unlistenable to, and it's this perfect blend of just creativity that I think he never recaptured afterwards because he was new at it, and he was free to use whatever samples he wanted because it wasn't, he wasn't in the industry yet. It was like an indie label, Deep Purple or something, and he posted it on that secret YouTube channel, Anna Gold, and it was this whole conspiracy, like, whoa, what is this? Oh my God, he's dropping serious music after all these years of people complaining, oh, we want you. Right?
Yeah.
So Chloe Burbank, I think still, despite only being 2 songs, unless you count some of the other ones that came out on his SoundCloud like that year, is his best work. Like, there's nothing better than that. I think there are some beautiful moments on In Tongues, which I know a lot of people find boring. I did find In Tongues boring at first. I was very disappointed with that being kind of his debut project. But I bought the record, and I think having anything on vinyl improves it for me. You know what I mean? It's more of a listening experience. You sit down, you put the needle on, you listen to the whole thing. You flip it, you listen to the rest of it. I think that really forces you to kind of experience it, and that helps me enjoy it more. So through getting the record from the live performance that I went to, he did a little mini thing in LA. It was like, he only did like the first 4 songs from the set list that he was going to do when he went on his world tour. So it was like, Will He, Demons, Yeah Right, and Head in the Clouds or something. He showed up an hour late. He played those 4, and he kind of disappointing. But the point was, I got the record. I listened in tongues. It grew on me.
I think like one of his songs he made was like one of the first ever songs. Like I listened to, I'm like, yeah, this is. I believe he can make some better shit. It's a really good song. It's I don't want you to waste my time, or don't waste my time. That's probably one of his best tracks in my opinion. Like you said, Will He is like one of those songs like Will He was another song like at the time I was really going through a breakup, and that was like one of the main songs I listened to.
Yeah, it's a very emotional song. Ironically, I find that song to be the most boring off of In Tongues. He didn't even produce that. Most of In Tongues is produced by him. Will He was not. It was produced by some rando friend of his to sound like a Joji song. So technically, I don't like that song, but emotionally, yes. I can totally see why people love that song. And I can see why you, going through a breakup, when, you know, you listen to that and you're just like, oh my God, you know, like you really get into it. And that's what I'm saying, though. In Tongues and Chloe Burbank capture those emotions in a way that Ballads does not. And that's the whole point of my rant right now, is that Ballads is just not a good album, in my opinion. Here's the thing. Yeah Right is my favorite Joji song. I don't think it's as interesting as Tom or You Stuck Charlie, but as far as any song he's made, Yeah Right is just a perfect fucking song. His vocals are really cool. The drop in the middle always gets me. There's this part where he does What You Know About Blood, Bitch You Ain't Even My Type, which is like a funny play on words, and then boom, there's like this like kind of very soft but high-pitched melody in the background, and that always hits me right in the feels. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my gut, I feel it. And I'm just like, God damn, that is perfect. And that being the first single for Ballads really raised my expectations. And then my expectations very slowly dipped with each single that came out. And then boom, the album came out, and all of the non-singles were terrible. I was just like, dude, why am I still in LA? Rest in peace. XNXX. I know a lot of people really like those songs, but I was just like, no, this is not Joji. I'm never going to feel the same amount of emotion from a song like Demons, from a song like Will He, from a song like Yeah Right, from Chloe Burbank, that I will with any of these kind of more mainstream, almost radio-friendly songs, you know what I mean? And obviously that's what you want to go for with a debut contemporary hip-hop R&B album. But I'm just like, I know that he's creative than this, and he's proved that like time and time again. And lately, he hasn't been doing a good job showing that off. Like with the record roulette or beat roulette, whatever that video was, where you know they have an artist go and pick random records and make a song sampling those records. I don't know if you saw that video, but that video perfectly proves like that he's like just a shitty producer lately, and I don't know why that is. He has all these really cool horn samples and stuff from these records that he could have used, and he ends up just making this very stale, repetitive beat. looping like some boring part of the record. And it's just like, I don't know why he's stuck in this loop of kind of just uncreativity. I don't understand. Maybe maybe it was like beginner's luck or something, right? He had this kind of burst of like new innovative ideas, right? He is just like, all right, I gotta like blow people away. This is a passion project. It's the first thing I've worked on, right? So he just drops all this beautiful shit. And then once the industry gets involved, and once the 88 Rising gets involved, it just goes to shit, in my opinion. And that's another controversial opinion I have, is I don't think 88 Rising is a good record label. I think they are very naive. They make a lot of mistakes, and they bank way too hard on Joji to exist. They don't give any of their artists enough good representation, in my opinion, than they do with Joji. Joji gets everything. He's got all the royalties. He's got all the merch. He's the only one with physical releases. Need to have stuff like that. She is so talented and super young. She's like an Asian Billie Eilish, but nobody cares about her as much as a Billie Eilish, and I find that really frustrating, because she's just got so much raw talent. And 88 Rising is just like, oh yeah, as far as merch for her, just some shitty hoodie with her name on it, and that's it. And Joji has all these different shirts and all this cool art, and he gets like 3 different vinyl pressings, and he's got a CD, and he's got everything. And it's just like, dude, as a record label, I think you need to do a better job, kind of spreading it even as far as representation. Like XL Recordings, they have Radiohead. That is one of the biggest bands and most amazing bands in like the whole world. Yet they do a fantastic job representing all of their artists, no matter how big or small they are. They give a decent amount of equal representation to all of them, despite having Radiohead. Like, Radiohead is huge. At least everybody knows Radiohead because of Creep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are a huge, huge band. Yet they give representation to all these small artists that I never would have found otherwise if they didn't like talk about them more often. And I think that that's fantastic. I'm grateful for that. And I find it frustrating that 88 Rising kind of refuses to do that with their other artists. It's mostly Joji and Higher Brothers. What are you going to say? Sorry.
Another really good artist they have that he has only released one song that's well known, and other than they'll put like a couple of songs here and then, they either don't get big or they don't promote it as much as Rich Chiga, or as known now, Rich Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like nobody ever knows him as fucking Rich Chiga anymore.
Dude, that was a way cooler name. That's a hard hitting name, like Rich Chiga. That's right, but like, oh, Rich Brian, like that's fucking stupid, man. That is a stupid name, and I'm pissed. That was the first hint that 88 Rising was like stupid. They're all about like Asian representation, right? They're like, yeah, like we're almost an all Asian record label, and like we don't give a fuck, right? But then they're like, oh, maybe we should change Chiga because it sounds like the N-word. Like, no, come on. Like, if you're gonna be like a no fucks given kind of record label, then be that. Don't try to like, oh, play it safe. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of like other Joji songs, that like some of the ones I like off of some of the ones off of his recent album, I like is Slow Dancing in the Dark. Like I said, I can't get over you.
Yep.
Like that's a fucking banger track.
Here's the thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I like Slow Dancing. It just feels like a single to me, though. You know what I mean? It just feels like the single. So I don't. It'll grow on me as I listen to the whole album and get used to that, like full, listening experience, whatever, blah blah blah. I really like Can't Get Over You, and I was frustrated how kind of bad the reception was for it at first, because it has Clamps Casino from Thundercat doing the beat, and it's just like a cute song, and it's proof that I do think that Joji can get away with being creative even with collaborative artists. You know what I mean? I think that song is a good example of like, you don't have to just be like the sad, moody, angsty, whatever that he is perpetually on the internet. And plus the music video for that is so fucking good. I love the music video for Can't Get Over You. It's funny, it's witty, it's charming. It's just like, God, like that feeling is what I'm going for with my Frank videos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not going to be able to reach the level that Frank ever did, but what I'm going for is just like this feeling of like, God, like that's like that's a good fucking video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I want. I want people to enjoy themselves, and I wish Joji did too, because I feel like he's just so set on being this like image of just like a sad god, and all of that frustrates me. And so, long story short, very long story short, I find Joji to be kind of pretentious, kind of obnoxious at times. I think he's talented, but I just think he lets too many outside forces kind of affect his creativity. And if he were to go back to being more independent or self-producing his stuff, which most of Ballads 1 is not produced by him. He only produced Attention, which I really like, Wanted You, which I find okay, I'll See You in 40, which is decent, but could have been tweaked a little better, and Yeah Right, which again is part of the reason that I love that song so much, is he produced it. He didn't have somebody else produce it. There's no feature. It's just him.
Going back on the music video, my favorite fucking part is too whenever they're holding up the energy sword from fucking Halo and a goddamn Minecraft pickaxe.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's humor in that, and there's little cracks of Frank that like peek through him in that video. And there's little details that are really cool. Like when he's shaving in his head, it cuts to this really kind of dark, like scene of him, like, oh, he's super depressed. All his homies are there. He's shaving his hair off, right? He's like, oh, fuck this bitch, right? The ambient like noise that plays in the background is slow dancing in the dark, reversed and slowed down, which is really cool. I like little details like that in videos, and I personally love messing with audio in videos, and I specifically do that a lot on my personal channel. I'll get more into it once I'm more comfortable with the Frank stuff, but I think audio is one of the most important parts of the video besides the obvious visual aspect. You know what I mean? You have to have interesting audio and little details like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he slaps the fucking kid's ice cream out of his hands. The kid's like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Oh my god, everything about that is perfect. He's like, right, his homie's giving him a fucking piggyback ride, and they go up, and he's just like, man, fuck this kid. And he slaps the ice cream out of his hand, and the kid's just like, what the hell? Like, yeah, exactly. And then later, the kid is chilling with them. The whole gang is there, and Joji is like, you know, singing at the camera, but the little kid's in the back, like bobbing his head along with the beat, and it's so good. I want more of that. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that I want him to be more accepting of his past. You know what I mean? He is such a genuinely funny guy when he is in the right like mindset. You know what I mean? And I think, again, part of the industry is kind of forcing him to be seen as this kind of like edgy, like sad boy. You know what I mean? Like, no, like he's a funny guy. He can be super lighthearted at times, and I think he needs to be able to be that. And I know he's afraid because he doesn't want to be seen as Frank anymore. So he doesn't want to be associated with that and that fan base. So I think he's afraid to kind of let loose and be super goofy, but I think he'll get more comfortable as the years go on. And I'm genuinely excited for him to drop a Ballads 2 or a Ballads 1 Deluxe. And I heard that soon he's going to be dropping a VHS tape of all things, and it's going to have unreleased songs on it. I think
what the fuck?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? Yeah, him and Guess, the clothing company Guess, are collaborating, and he's going to do something called Lost Ballads, which is going to be a VHS tape of footage, and the background music for the footage, whatever the hell it's going to be, is unused songs for ballads. I'm definitely going to order it when it comes out. I think I need to look actually, because that might be soon. But stuff like that is super weird and interesting, and I'm just like, again, I need more stuff like that from the other artists on the label, though. You know what I mean? Like Joji gets to have all this cool weird shit, and people like Nicki and August 08 are just like kind of left in the dust. Like, they're all right. They have a new album. You can listen to it, I guess. is how that feels. But Joji's getting all this attention.
The only song I really like where they all collaborated, I think it's the only song they all collaborated. It was Midsummer Madness, or whatever the fuck it is. I really only love Rich Brian's part and fucking Joji's part.
Even here's the thing, I don't like that song, But I understand where you're coming from with that. I really like Rich Brian's part. Joji's part is so god awful to listen to, and the highlight of that is listening to it live.
Oh.
This is a whole other thing that bothers me about Joji. Completely off topic, but he is not that great of a singer if you really break it down. He just does not have that dynamic of a vocal range. He doesn't open his mouth very much, so he's very mumbly all the time, which I get is a style, but there you can still have kind of a mumble style while also singing well. And it all has to do with enunciation and kind of, how you open your mouth and all this weird technical shit with singing. The point is, listening to Midsummer Madness live is atrocious because Joji's just like, and it's just, it's like, I don't like using the word, but it's cringy. And I think there are better examples of them all collaborating on Head in the Clouds. I really like Peach Jam. I really like La Cienega with him and Nicki. I think that song is fantastic. That song has so many cool little kind of experimental bits, and it's got like this cool sample of like a Japanese market or something at the end that flows into the next song really well. And all of that is August '08, who again I think is a very underrated and underappreciated person under that label. And it's just like August '08 is a master producer. He produced a lot of this stuff on the Head in the Clouds album. And I don't think he gets enough showcasing. You know what I mean?
Getting off of the whole music and Joji topic, I want to ask you some questions. What's your favorite movie, man?
My favorite movie, my favorite live action movie is Alien. I think it is a masterclass as far as suspense and horror goes. It was done on a very low budget, which is, what I'm doing with the Frank stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm a firm believer in low budget because I think it forces movie makers to be put into situations that will actually benefit the movie as far as creativity and being kind of put on the spot. So the first Alien, 79, Sigourney Weaver, Ridley Scott, fantastic, like so good. My favorite animated movie, Yellow Submarine from '69,
yeah.
The Beatles. So good. That movie is a trip, and I've been watching it since I was a kid. I used to have the VHS at my grandma's place, and I would go in the back room and just watch it on repeat all day. And I blame it for part of the reason I'm just such a nut job nowadays. You know what I mean? I'm just like that movie is exactly why I have the inspiration that I have.
I don't know if you fuck with it, but like one of my favorite movie of all time is Evil Dead 3: Army of Darkness.
I've never seen any of the Evil Dead movies, but I know that they have a huge cult following. I mean, cult following, just a huge following. And I should probably watch them someday because I heard the second one is fantastic.
Oh, dude, I found the second one. They recently were selling it at Walmart for 4K edition.
Like,
I was like, fuck.
You're like, I'm
yes.
gonna buy that ASAP rock.
But like, I don't know if you ever seen speaking of like low budget, like really good films, like 12 Angry Men come to mind. If you ever seen that.
I need to see that one too. That's on my list. I heard that's fantastic. That's about like a jury, right? And it's just like that whole jury.
Set one room, just it's a conversation. It's about
Crazy.
Should this person go to jail or not. It makes you really think about it makes you think not only like whenever you're in the jury, you're deciding what this person's gonna happen to them, no matter what. And you should always take up in every little option in consideration. Other banger movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that's another really good one if you ever seen it. And
I've not seen it.
And Doctor Strangelove, that's another like really good movie.
I haven't seen any of those. I'll put them on my list. You know what's funny? It's the same thing with music, but I have a very small list of everything. You know what I mean? I don't tend to stray super far from the stuff that I really like, but that's not a way to live. So I need to be more open to stuff.
Favorite animated movie? I would say actually it's kind of weebish. The new Dragon Ball movie that just came out, the Battle of not Battle of Gods, fucking Broly. I fuck with that shit hard.
Oh, I heard it was fantastic. I heard it was really good.
Dude, like, I grew up, like, me and my brother, we're okay now, but, like, when we were growing up, our only bonds was, like, Halo 3 and fucking Dragon Ball.
That's fantastic.
And,
Halo 3 is a masterpiece, by the way.
oh, dude, favorite game of all time, hands fucking down.
Mine would be BioShock 2. I think BioShock 2 is the perfect shooter. I don't think there's a better first-person shooter, like story-driven.
Not a lot of people like it, though.
Yeah, that I know that's another weird opinion. I'm getting a look from my friend. I'm with a homie right now, and he's looking at me like, what the fuck are you saying, dude? He's like, he's looking at me like crazy right now. No, I genuinely think that BioShock 2 is like a perfect sequel as far as, here's what a sequel needs to be. It needs to build off of the world more. It needs to be innovative and kind of change and reinvent how the original is seen. And it needs to be like fun. And BioShock 2 just does all three of those things perfectly. It fixes a lot of the kind of clunkier RPG issues with the original game. You got dual wielding, so you don't have to switch between plasmids and weapons. You can just do all that shit at once, which makes gunfights like so much more interesting. It lets you be more creative. There's much more options. Emotional details, like making the little sisters not hideous abominations, are smart because it really makes you question whether or not you should harvest or save them. Stuff like that. The whole game, I think, is fantastic. I am probably biased because I actually played BioShock 2 before the original, which I know is blasphemous and crazy, but
oh, I did. Same.
Yeah, and I think that helped shape my opinion of it. You know what I mean? I was just like, well, this is fantastic. And so BioShock 1 felt kind of like a step back. Not story-wise. The story for the first game is unbeatable, but it is a rehash of System Shock 2, which I don't think a lot of people realize. So I personally don't think BioShock 1 is as good as BioShock 2. I also think Infinite is shit, but that would take another whole podcast's worth. I know.
Dude,
I know. I'm sorry.
Those are fighting fucking words, bro.
I know. I promise you I will make a hour-long rant video on my main channel. I'll do it as Frank. I'll be like, look, this game is fucking shit, okay? I'm sick of you motherfuckers thinking this game is good. Oh, multi-universes and shit, that is garbage, okay? Nobody gives a fuck about universes or, like, alternate dimensions or whatever the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, so, I have a lot of controversial opinions is what I'm getting from doing this podcast with you. But I don't care. I genuinely think BioShock 2 is the best in the series. That was a long tangent, but you have good taste, is what I'm gathering. You seem like you dabble here and there.
Yeah. Speaking of next question,
yes.
Which Lord do you think would win, Brendan Fraser or Tim Allen?
Oh man.
Like prime,
Probably...
like Tim Allen Santa Claus 3, not Tim Allen whenever he got caught with like a pound of coke, or Brendan Fraser from The Mummy.
Oh God!
No, Brendan Fraser from Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh my God! That is the hardest question I've ever gotten. I guess Brendan Fraser has more relevancy. I mean, I know nowadays he's completely irrelevant, but I'm just saying, like,
he's in Doom Patrol.
Oh, that's true. That's true. My bad. He's in more classics than Tim Allen is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
so I'm gonna have to go with Brendan Fraser.
Speaking of fucking the Frage.
The Frage, man.
I have a secret man crush on this guy. It's just it's been a running joke in like my friend group that I have a fucking hard on for this man, but
for Brendan,
for Brendan and Tim Allen, but more of Brendan. Speaking of it, do you think Mummy is one of the most perfect movies? The Mummy.
The Mummy scares the shit out of me, so
right?
I'll give it that. I will say that it's fucking scary, and the scariest scene for me is when the scarabs like go under the guy's skin.
Oh my fucking God!
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, that scene scares the shit out of me. Not even like any of the scenes where it's like the mummy being just a freaky CGI abomination. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that specifically, just seeing the bug under the guy's skin, and then like later when they fucking eat him, like they devour him, all of that shit. I'm just like, like no, that is. I'm okay with bugs for the most part, but that specifically is like a nightmare.
Yeah, that's
The
a deep fear of
experience.
mine. It's like having bugs inside of me.
Oh yeah, no, having anything inside of me. That's part of the reason that I love Alien, because that whole concept is just freaky as shit. They literally sat down and were like, "What if the alien fucks the guy?" And they're like, "What?" And they're like, the producers are like, "Yeah, like what if the alien like screws somebody?" That was the original idea, was the alien like fucks somebody, and then that's how they get pregnant. And so they had to come up with a creative way with
Yep.
H.R. Geiger, and how is the person gonna get fucked by the alien? And so that's where the whole concept comes from. And so shit like that is just terrifying. And I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that.
What is your idea that what is not including aliens, or if you want to include aliens, you can. What is the perfect horror movie to you?
Babadook. Babadook is a
Babadook?
fucking yes. Have you seen it?
No, I have not seen it.
The Babadook. It's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, definitely check it out. But Babadook is fantastic. I have never felt as scared watching that movie. I can't even describe it. At points, my whole chest would just go numb. That's how freaked out I would get. It's so subtle. There's like one jump scare in the whole movie. All of it is just like mind fuckery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And towards the end, it just kind of descends into madness, and there's so much going on with so little happening that you're just like, oh my god! It's a sensory overload. But it also has these really interesting, deep-seated, like kind of metaphorical theories and all this weird shit behind it. It's fantastic. I think it's Australian, or it's definitely European. I think specifically like New Zealand or Australia, but it's fantastic. And I love Japanese horror, but that beats everything Japanese horror wise. Like that, like Babadook just blows it all out of the water.
I'll probably send it to you later. I can't think of the anime, but I think it's Parasite, and
I've heard.
That is by the way, trying to find that fucking movie nowadays, or that show nowadays, is fucking hard. I found it at a fucking McKay's for cheap, and it's like online. The second half of the first season goes for like $80 online.
Really?
Yeah, dude. But it's so fucking good. Because
I've heard it's fantastic. That's really interesting that the physical copies sell for that much.
It's the Blu-ray copy. I don't know how much the DVD copy is. But see,
interesting.
But my idea of the perfect horror movie, and I know like, this is so generic, is the original Friday the 13th.
That is a great choice, actually. I will agree with you there, because I think slasher films are just fantastic and fun, and they can be definitely like pretty scary and suspenseful at times, but in such kind of a interesting, such an interesting, like, I wouldn't say cliche, but just, I don't know. Yeah, that is a great choice. No, I'll agree with you with that.
Because like, not only most slasher films, like, oh, you see the killer raw off the rip, like first kill, oh, hey, guess what? I'm gonna kill half the cast. But like, when it comes to the original Friday, you don't see the killer until the ending.
That's why I love Alien, because you barely see the alien itself until it comes and like kills people for a split sec.
But like, even like the very first scene still scares me to this day.
Because, yeah.
Because like the very first scene, it's like, oh, kumbaya, hey honey, you wanna go do a good old suck and fuck in the back?
Sure thing, honey. Nothing will go wrong.
So that's a great, that scene itself is like the reason that's a good choice. And it wasn't necessarily overdone at the time too, so you could say that movies like that were definitely more innovative than we don't talk about Jason X or Freddy versus Jason or anything.
I meant like
Unless you like those movies, unless you like
oh,
them,
dude,
I don't know.
fuck no. I can't. I can only watch like up to part 3. Because part 1 I can watch any of the fucking day of the week. It was actually the first ever horror movie I was introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
I was 5 and my mom apparently thought that was a fucking good idea. Yeah, college dropout. Wonder how you think that all turned out too.
Oh man.
But no,
that's hilarious.
Man, you can't. The only way how you can look back at your past if you can laugh at it. If you can't laugh at it, then I guess you're gonna need a bullet for next morning.
Yeah, here's what I always say. I say you can't laugh at other people if you can't laugh at yourself first. And that, I think, is one of the most important details of making these Frank videos too. Is like, I have to be self-referential and self-aware if I'm gonna survive mentally through any of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people can be super harsh and like berating, and you know, I think that if you are just kind of like, you know, self-deprecating, which Frank obviously very much is, that helps. Because you can defeat a lot of kind of hate and arguments through just agreeing with them and being like, yeah, I'm a stupid piece of shit. You know what I mean? And like, whatever. So, you know, it helps. And I forget where I was going with that. The point is, you know, have fun with anything. Don't give a fuck. Don't care. Don't let outside forces mess with you. And that works for everything we've been talking about so far. As far as Joji, Frank, you know, the movies and stuff. It just care less. I think the internet needs to do that, and I hope I can kind of bring back that group mentality with people. Just, you know, be less offended. Don't let things get to you. Let things slide. We'll all be happier. It'll all be for the better.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, my friend's sneezing next to me. My driver. Thank you.
Oh, you're in a car right now?
I am in a car.
Oh my god.
I was going on a walk earlier, and I'm surprised you didn't hear, but yeah, now I got into the car, and now we're driving. This is the most mobile podcast I've ever done. You know, most of the time you sit down, there's mics and stuff. Nah, I'm walking around, I'm driving, whatever.
Oh, like I'm sitting in my room by myself, just talking to a fucking screen.
Yep. Well, the duality of the talk. But yeah, you got any other questions? What do you want to know? What do you want?
First off, do you like Star Wars?
I love Star Wars. I liked Episode 8, which I know is another controversial thing. But looking back on it, I definitely agree with what a lot of people are saying about it. And I don't think it's nearly as good as I thought it was on the original, like theater viewing, which I think will always kind of make you be like, whoa, you know, you're with the crowd. It's the big screen. You're going to like it probably, you know, unless it's obviously really terrible. For me, I have a much lower standard for movies than I do for music. So I'll walk into most movies, especially if it's in the theater, and be like, yeah, that was good. Right? Like the Transformers movies are shit. But if I see it in theater for the first time, I'll be like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, so I like all of Star Wars. I think Episode 4 is the best. I don't think you can beat the original.
Dude, you're gonna hate my opinion.
What? Tell me. You're gonna say like Episode 3 or some shit.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh my god, I knew it.
I'm gonna go into this for a minute and explain why Episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie.
Oh man,
and it's because if you watched the Clone Wars TV show. If you never watched it, shit.
No, I did. Trust me. I watched. You know what? I never finished it though. Actually, I watched the first 3 seasons actually, and then I never went back and watched the rest of it.
Okay. So speaking of the scene with Obi-Wan and he just killed Grievous, and
which is the saddest part for me. I fucking love Grievous.
And Commander Cody hands him his lightsaber. The reason why it's such a weird, if you just watch it and not really know any other thing in the Star Wars universe, it's not like it's like what the Order 66, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
But if you know anything about like Commander Cody, he would do anything. He would take a bullet just to save Obi-Wan's life, and Obi-Wan would do the same for him because they both respected each other for which roles they had.
Like immensely, yeah.
Like if you look at Commander Cody and Captain Rex is more like Anakin. He jumps on. He doesn't waste time. He gets to the point, and he tries to make everything make fucking sense.
For sure.
Commander Cody's more of a thinker and more of a like, let's plan this out. Let's not just jump ahead. Let's get shit done and
methodical. Yeah. So that scene.
He gives him his lightsaber. He gives him his lightsaber. He says thank you, and then he gets the order from Palpatine. Like,
yes,
commence Order 66. And then like shit just hits the fan.
Yeah.
And another really sad scene. You don't know. It's a very scene looked over, but it's Anakin looking in the lava planet. I can't think the fucking name of it. Lucifer. But he's looking at where his palace is going to be whenever he turns Darth Vader, and all you see is a tear going down his face, because all he wanted to do, he didn't want any of this to happen. He just wanted to protect Padme. And one of my favorite scenes from the movie is whenever he's describing his dream to Padme, and he's like, I won't let you die my fucking dream. I won't let you die like you did in my dreams.
Yeah, and he's fucking ripped. He's got his shirt off and he's all sweaty, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That scene is funny. But here's why I don't like episode 3. Everything you just described to me is only true because of the Clone Wars series. The Clone Wars series is fantastic, but it only enhances episode 2 and 3 by existing. On their own, those movies are still like not that great to me. You know what I mean? I think episode 2 is the worst of the prequels.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like episode 2 is so unwatchable.
Oh no, episode 2 holds my favorite line in any Star Wars movie.
With sand?
I hate sand.
Yep.
Dude, and Battlefront 2, if you play on Tatooine as Anakin, he says, "Oh, sand. Why does it have to be sand?"
That is hilarious. I did not know that. That's so funny. Oh, man. That's also probably a reference to Indiana Jones going, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? That's so funny.
Dude, banger fucking movies. The best trilogy.
Oh, for sure. We don't talk about the fourth one. But,
fuck no. Or it was aliens and monkeys and...
Yeah. I would even argue that... Yeah. I would argue that Temple of Doom is actually not that good either. I would say 1 and 3 are fantastic. Dude, but I would say 2 and 4 are not great.
How the fuck is Temple of Doom PG?
Yeah, there is no good reason why that movie should be PG. The fucking dude rips the heart out of the guy's chest.
It's a close R.
Like, yeah. There's a nasty ass like food on the table with like tentacle hentai shit coming out of it. There's all sorts of weird fucking scenes in that movie. There is no good reason why it should be PG. Yeah, like at least PG-13. Yeah. That was a great point.
But I really just love Clone Wars, and I've always been a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But episode 3 was the first ever. Well, no, I think I saw Phantom Menace first. Actually, speaking of movies, what was the first ever movies you remember seeing in theaters?
I think my first ever movie was Toy Story. Or Toy Story 2. Maybe Toy Story 2. I think Toy Story 2 is a fucking masterpiece, too, as far as animation goes. I'm trying to think of... Yeah, I guess I would just say Toy Story. The first game I remember... The first 2 games, actually, that I ever remember seeing were my dad playing American McGee's Alice and Rayman 3.
Oh,
and
shit.
those 2 games are also part of the reason why I think I have such the like kind of imagination and influences that I have. Because have you heard of American McGee's Alice?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of it.
So it's a game. There's 2 of them. There's American McGee's Alice, and then there's Madness Returns. Picture Alice in Wonderland, right? Alice in Wonderland is a pretty fucked up premise to begin with, right?
Yeah.
So imagine like quadrupling the fuck uppedness of it to just a totally just, oh my God, this is like really gruesome level.
I think I played a game like that before. It was like
Yeah.
like Alice's Madland or some bullshit. It was like rated M. It was like blood and shit.
It might have been, you might have been playing the second one. Yeah, Madness Returns.
Yeah.
So my dad, we used to play the original game back in the day, and so much fucked up shit happens in that game. But my little 3-year-old ass would just be sitting there watching all of this shit happen, and my dad at the time didn't care, which was hilarious because he's pretty anti like violence and like all that. But my parents had me at a very young age, so you know he was like a 20-year-old. He didn't give a shit, you know what I mean? It was just like, oh, okay. He'd let me watch, you know, fucking all this gore and crazy shit happen to all these like Disney characters, and so I would I that was one of my earliest kind of media memories, with that and Rayman 3. Rayman 3 is a fantastic game. That's another one where people don't like that one as far as franchise goes, but I think it's fantastic. And it's a great 3D platformer. I get so much of my artistic influences from the Rayman series, as far as like art that I do, my drawings and shit. I attribute most of that to the Rayman series. And 3 got an HD remake for the 360, which is one of my most played games besides like TF2 and Bioshock 2.
Huh.
Yeah.
I would say going back in my first ever movie I saw in theaters, it was either Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi
wow.
one.
Okay. Spider-Man 2 is fantastic.
Or no, it was SpongeBob. No, I'm gonna take back the favorite animated movie. SpongeBob SquarePants movie is one of the best fucking movies ever made.
Yes, you are so right. That is, I could recite that whole goddamn movie to you right now. Like, God, I'm dead ass serious. That movie is so fucking good. The only reason I wouldn't say it's my favorite is just based on the kind of artistic influences that Yellow Submarine has given me.
Yeah.
But just as far as pure nostalgic joy, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is a fucking masterpiece. And the game, 2 of my other favorite games of all time are the 3D games that came around the time, other 3D platformers, Battle for Bikini Bottom and the SpongeBob movie game.
Oh, dude, Battle for Bikini Bottom it's getting a remake on PS4.
No way! Are you serious?
On PS4, it's getting a fucking remake.
That is fantastic fucking news. I will buy a PS4 just to play that. I am not kidding. That is fantastic.
Speaking of PS4 games, like if you are gonna get one, I do highly recommend playing 2 games, and this is just because it helped me out through a rough time. I'm not gonna get into it, but like
sure,
it helped me out like realize a lot of shit. Is the brand new Spider-Man game?
Okay, cool.
And God of War.
Which 4?
The newest one.
Okay, cool. I have heard great things about both. I think God of War won a bunch of awards too, and I think it was nominated for Game of the Year or it won Game of the Year.
I think it did win Game of the Year. It was like
cool.
Yeah, like I'll admit, Spider-Man made me cry.
I heard Spider-Man was so fucking fantastic. Like, might be better than Arkham City to some people.
I don't know, because like Spider-Man's my favorite fucking superhero.
Oh yeah, same for sure.
I grew up with the original Sam Raimi trilogy. And I will defend fucking Spider-Man 3 any day of the week.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. I love that movie, and I hate how much hate that it gets.
But also, you gotta understand the reason why I defend it is because I understand it's a shit movie. I understand that. It is a shit movie, but it's because of Sony. And that's it.
Yeah, it is Sony's fault. Sam Raimi had very different ideas for the movie.
He never wanted Venom. He just wanted Sandman.
He didn't understand Venom. He said he didn't even get Venom as a character, so he didn't want to use him. But the studio was like, "No, you gotta have him. He's gonna be cool." Yeah, so that got shoehorned in.
Who put his Venom? Fuck the motherfucker from God damn it, that 70s show.
Topher Grace or whatever.
Yeah.
As Eddie Brock. He works as Eddie Brock. He does not work as Venom. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't even like him as Eddie Brock, but like,
I think that him as Eddie Brock was like funny, not good, but like funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Tom Hardy was a much better Eddie Brock and Venom.
I remember seeing Spider-Man 3 in theaters, and my favorite fucking scene while I was a kid, I thought was so badass and so cool that Spider-Man's doing this, is like going down the streets and like snapping and like fucking pointing at people.
Yup. No, that's my favorite part. And the fact that they referenced that in Spider-Verse was so fantastic.
Great movie. That is also another... I know I keep gushing on fucking Spider-Man, but like... Probably, like, do you like Homecoming? That is a very controversial topic because not a lot of people like it.
I do like Homecoming. No, I liked Homecoming a lot, and I don't know why people didn't like it. It doesn't beat the Raimi trilogy, but I thought it was a fantastic fucking Spider-Man movie. I get people's complaints about the too much like Iron Man influence, but if it's part of the MCU, I don't see a problem with that. I think it's all fine.
I think Tom Holland is the perfect Spider-Man, and to sum it up, is his fucking scene, all of his scenes in Infinity War. My favorite one is Tony. Wow, Mr. Stark, it smells like a new car in here.
No, Infinity War makes every other MCU movie like better, just purely because of how good it is and how great the writing is for all of the characters individually. I'm so excited for Endgame. I don't know if I have tickets yet. I have to ask my parents. Fuck. Because my dad usually buys tickets way ahead of time for shit like that. But I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the end game is for Endgame.
But going into like the ending in the scene with Spider-Man and Tony Stark, and let me explain why this is the best Spider-Man that's ever been on film.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man's a fucking kid. Let's get this across there. And I know, like, even like the PS4 one did really well. Spider-Man's a kid, and you can tell he's a kid from his fucking scene in Infinity War, and it's Tom Holland's great acting too.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever
he's totally a teenager, he's like he's a dork. Yeah.
Everyone else is like, "What the fuck," and then just dust away.
Yeah.
And then you look at this kid. He's like, "I don't want to." He's scared. You can see not only he's just like a kid. You can see he's terrified, and you can see his face. He's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I fucking cried. I cried.
Do you have any answers? Because this is the man, after Uncle Ben, that he has sought as his father figure, and the only person he has ever gone up to for any fucking answers.
Yeah.
And whenever he doesn't know, you can see it on his face, You can see on his face, like, fuck.
Like, yeah, like, no, and that's why that scene is so fucking sad. He's a kid. He genuinely like doesn't want to die, and he says those lines, and it's just like, fuck, god damn. It's so emotional, and I don't think any other MCU movie like reaches that level of emotion. Infinity War is just so fucking good. It's such a comic book movie, but it still has such raw fucking emotion in it too, and it's just like, god damn, we are blessed to live in this like era, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Despite all the shit we were talking about earlier with just YouTube being shit and monopolizing and all the other garbage going on with like the music industry, despite all of that, like we live in this great era of media, you know what I mean? We have all these awesome Star Wars movies at our disposal, you know, all this other related media, we got all this Marvel related stuff, all of it is just so cool, and all of it is based on the collaborative effort. And, to relate it back to our main point of this whole podcast, the collaborative effort is like what will make my Frank videos like perfect. And what we're doing right now, this isn't even, related, but stuff like this is so cool to me. I love connecting with people who care. And it's the reason that I love making content. You know what I mean? I want to have, obviously I'm not going to reach Spider-Man being snapped away levels of emotion, but I love making people feel, you know what I mean? And I always have. And it's something I hope I can keep achieving with this Frank series. And I hope I can keep collaborating with people like you and other people. Just today were emailing me like fan art and saying like, hey, I can do voice acting for you. All this cool stuff just out of nowhere, all within a day's time span. You know what I mean? It's just fucking wild. And it just, yeah, it's just, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
grateful for Infinity War. I'm grateful for the internet. I'm grateful for all of it. You know what I mean? It all just kind of wraps up into, I'm thankful. And Spider-Man is fucking great. And he has the coolest villains. Nobody can argue that with me.
Um, we're gonna get into our last two topics.
Sure.
With YouTube and everything, why? Okay, why I created videos was in high school I always wanted to be an edgelord because I watched too much Leafy Was Here.
Dude, I did too. I did too before he was fucking garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, before he got like before iDubbbz like pretty much put
Destroyed
12K
him.
through his chest.
Yes.
What?
Popped the cap in his ass.
Why do you make videos, man? Like, what strives you? Is it creativity? It just makes you feel like you have a sense of belonging, or just to make it so your mind doesn't just stay in one fucking state?
Definitely the latter. Here's the thing. I make my personal videos for me. My Ejmrulz channel is purely like inside jokes, self-referential shit. I spend way too much time editing them, even though nobody watches them. It's all for me. It's very much a personal kind of passion project. As far as I just like making little comedy bits, and in that aspect, I am like my own biggest fan because I just love rewatching that shit, and it makes me laugh, which is kind of pathetic in a way, but it does keep me sane. You know what I mean? It's something that every once in a while, and it's part of the reason my upload schedule is so weird and then so sudden, like so sporadic, and then all at once. Because
Yeah.
whenever I'm kind of maybe in a dip, whenever I'm kind of in a in kind of a rut, and I specifically have a video called Rut, which encompasses everything that I'm talking about, which is probably my favorite video that I've done. I do this, and so with this Frank thing, it's much different. It's for the people. You know what I mean? I'm doing the opposite. I wouldn't say that my personal channel is selfish, but it's just for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just for me to kind of keep myself entertained. And the few friends of mine that do watch it like the videos, and I am glad that they do. But it's definitely a personal thing. For this Frank stuff, I make the videos, or I started because I want people to have that feeling of nostalgia. I want people to be happy. I want people to laugh and smile, and I like being offensive. That's kind of one of my staples as far as humor. But I don't really get to do that much on my personal channel because I have so much family that is subscribed, and a lot of little kids and stuff, as far as cousins and whatnot. So for the personal stuff, I do keep it pretty PG. I do, I bleep all the bad words, whatever, which I think is fine. But with this Frank stuff, not only is it kind of something that I can share with everybody, but it's a bit of a different take on my sense of humor, and I get to flourish in terms of a different side of that sense of humor. Offensive, edgy, crass, crude, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun kind of unlocking that side of that sense of humor, but also the bottom line is I want to make people laugh. I want to make people smile. I think it's a very beloved cast of characters, and I hope that I can do all of them justice, despite being a gringo who doesn't know a lick of Japanese. Yeah, or yeah,
You can run on Renaissance or Renaissance.
yeah, exactly. I don't know if I can rap as well as Pink Guy can, but I'm gonna try. I have a bunch of SoundCloud friends that hopefully can help me produce some stuff. We'll try to make a Pink season 2 eventually, or tie up some loose ends with whatever the third LP was supposed to be for Pink Guy, because that got announced and never got made. So maybe we'll do that. I don't know. It could go any which direction, but again, all of it comes back to the collaboration. You know what I mean? It's the sharing of it, but it's also the spreading of it. You know what I mean? I have a communist attitude about it, man. I want everyone to see it. I want everybody to laugh and have a good time. And yeah, and that's what motivates me. Is I was nervous about it at first, right? I didn't know what the reaction was going to be, but there's so much positivity. If you go through that first video, and you go through the comments, so many of them are so heartwarming to read. Like it genuinely put a smile on my face. I was just like, holy shit, these people really care about these characters, like more so than I ever really thought about. And
oh yeah, man. Like Filthy Frank was just such. I grew up with I started watching Filthy Frank on Disaster Music. That's how OG fan I am.
You've been with him way longer than I have. I only knew TV Filthy Frank. I didn't even know Disaster Music existed until like later down the line. You know what I mean?
What's your favorite Filthy Frank video?
Life Hacks. I think Life Hacks is a fucking masterpiece.
What the power of Zelzar?
The demons of Zelzar. Yeah, so that fucking video is so great. It encompasses everything that's great about Frank. It's got little lore bits. It's got little public like kind of prank bits. It's got a little bit of music in it. You know, it's everything. It's everything that Frank is. And that's why I always show that video first, because it's just kind of a perfect mortgage board or like taste tester, if you will. You know what I mean? So I always I start with Life Hacks. Then I do Weeaboos because that's the most viewed one. That's like the classic. And then I'll do Hair Cake if they can, you know, if they're okay with the first two, then that's proof that they can see the nasty shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, then I do Hair Cake, and then those are the main three. Yeah, those are the three. You know what I'm really nervous about? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Dude, fuck that. I can't even watch it because I just like whenever I see them break that cake open, it's like, fuck no.
Spread her cheeks. Yeah, exactly. I love that trilogy, but the scary thing is I will eventually probably have to do a cake video. So many people have been asking for one. And I'm just like, fuck, I don't have the balls or even the stomach to necessarily pull that off. Like, people are just saying, when are you going to do a hair cake? And I was like, does it even have to be a hair cake? I don't even think I would be able to pull that off. I think I would just die on camera, and then that would be it. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of cake I'm going to do, but I don't know. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous.
Do you like a chocolate cake so it doesn't seem that bad? But though, like, your fan base is like, let's see if this motherfucker's the real Frank. We're gonna make him eat a goddamn hair cake.
Yeah, dude, they're testing me, man. They're testing me. They're like, oh, you think you're Frank? Okay, how about this? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Are you gonna do vomit cake?
I could do a vomit cake.
I don't know.
No, because that shit gets baked into it. You know what I mean? Like, the hair doesn't go away. Bake the cake. That's the worst part. Like, the vomit, I think it's baked into it enough that it's salvageable as far as like taste buds go. But the hair, Max even said something. He's like, oh shit, I thought it was gonna like burn into the cake. You know what I mean? But it didn't. It's just there, and you can't even digest the fuckers. It's so I can't. I think human cake would be easier than hair cake, because human cake is like toenails and piss. I think I could probably do piss before I could do hair. You know what I mean? Like,
do it in reverse.
Yeah, I might start with like a piss cake or like a blood cake. I don't know, dude. The other issue is being creative with it.
So much iron. God damn.
Yeah, I know. And I was just reading recently about how blood is not good for you to ingest for a whole slew of reasons, and I was like, great, I might have to not do that. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, like...
I'm nervous, man. I don't know. People want me to do a cake video. What was the other most recommended thing? People were asking for, damn, I'll have to go back and look. But there's a lot of recommendations, and I appreciate that people are recommending, but a lot of it seems forced, and I'm just like, hey, I am going the direction that I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I appreciate the feedback, but there's so many people asking for specific stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can pull that off. I do have a lot of cool pink guy stuff planned. The next video will be very pink guy related. I won't spoil it, but it's going to be mostly pink guy. And I do eventually want to do a third pink guy album. Obviously, it would be for free. I'm not going to be able to do because Pink Eye is the only thing that is actually copywritten by George. Because of the release of Pink Season, the music itself, so I wouldn't be able to necessarily do that. But I will do a free to download, similar to the first album. And I think what I'll do with it is more of the kind of pretty songs like Rice Balls or Fried Noodles or She's So Nice,
She's
or
So
We
Nice.
Fall Again.
If you
She's
ever
So Nice is so good.
a badass fucking remix of She's So Nice, if you ever get a chance to listen to it, is the Childish Gambino one.
I was just listening to that. It's so fucking good. It is so good.
It fits so well.
Oh, man. It fits so well. God damn. Yeah. On the radio. That's my favorite show. Yeah. And the best part is there's footage of Joji listening to that song. So that's just a great little, like, nod to that. That's just a great fucking remix.
Well,
yeah.
You can see, like, Childish Gambino, especially, like, now Childish Gambino in his music, especially Red Bones. Like, you can see a lot of Joji in that.
Oh, for sure. The reason people don't like Awaken My Love that much is because it's very different from his first two albums. It's very kind of ballady, but also experimental.
It's my favorite fucking album. It's like Tyler the Creator.
Really?
My favorite album by Tyler the Creator is hands down Flower Boy.
Yeah, Flower Boy is fantastic. I really like Flower Boy. I don't really fuck with too much of his early stuff. It's very, I wouldn't say grungy, but just gritty. Like his early stuff is very just kind of hard hitting. The beats are really in your face, especially Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb is all over the place stylistically, and it's very hard hitting. Despite maybe like Find Your Wings and
his one about his dad is a really fucking good one. It's off of his early albums. It plays at the end of
Bastard or Yonkers.
I think it's Bastard.
Oh, Goblin. I mean Goblin. Bastard or Goblin.
It talks about like he was like he talks about how his dad wasn't there, but like his producer is like the person that's been through him since day one and supporting him.
Really? That's cool. Send me the link. I should listen to that. My friend Andy I was talking about earlier is a huge Tyler fan. I think Tyler's probably his favorite artist, so that's cool. But yeah, Tyler's cool. I've seen Tyler before actually. I was on you wouldn't know the street. I was going to name street names, but I was near my work. And I was sitting on the bus bench, and I was with my little brother for some reason. And there's a golf shop down the street. So every once in a while, Tyler will be there. I've never seen him though. Randomly, this hat falls off of this guy's head in front of me, and the guy screams, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I look up, and it's Tyler. And the first thing I said was just, "Dude, you scared the shit out of me." And he just ignores me.
It's like his deep fucking voice and shit.
Yeah. And then his friend picked it up and he said something hilarious. He was like, "Thanks, sweetie pie," or something, and I was dying. I was laughing so hard. And then the second time I saw Tyler was at Amoeba Records, which is the record store that I frequent at. Andy just grabs me by the shoulders and pushes me, and he goes, "Dude, look!" And he puts my face right up in Tyler the Creator's face, and I'm just like, "Oh shit!" And again, Tyler ignores me because he doesn't really fuck with fans. But I was right in his face, and it's crazy. I see celebrities so often here in LA. You think it's like a joke or like a cliche, but it's true. I see people all the time. It's so nuts.
Do you fuck with Oliver Tree?
You know what? I have this conversation a lot because people think that I will, but I don't. I find him like not unbearable, but just like I don't know how to describe him.
Like his personality.
Yeah, his personality. He's just an Instagram influencer, so I don't fuck with that. And his music is bizarre. I can say at least that it's unique. There's nothing else that really sounds like it, but god damn, his vocals bother me. It's Trippie Redd-esque. And I hate people that are just kind of like yodely like that. You know what I mean? It's not a style that I really fuck with. But I'm sure he's a creative guy, and I've heard that his music videos are cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't fuck with Oliver Tree that much.
All right.
As far as like Instagram comedian gone artist. Yes. What were you gonna say?
Last two questions, and these are the most important questions of the whole interview.
Oh,
and
shit.
You have to answer them 110% honestly. First thing, are you a furry or associated with the furry fandom?
I am not, but there are a lot of goddamn furries commenting on my video, and the sad part is they're very nice and genuinely
sir.
cool. I know.
You don't know. I have got the full dick of the furry fandom. And they first off they don't know how to spell or have grammar, so thank God.
For the most part, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what's blowing my mind about this specifically, is that all the furries commenting on my video are actually pretty well spoken, and I don't know what's up with that.
Well, I think I just got the shitstorm. Okay, so I was in high school, 16. I was an edgelord, like I said, and I made a video called "Why Do I Hate Furries?" And oh, dude, it was a joke video because you could see a little bit of Filthy Frank come out in it, because like that's cool. That was a little bit like the edge humor I was trying to go with, playing Black Ops 3 in the background. I know.
Black Ops 1 is one of my favorites, Call of Duty wise, by the way.
Alright. But, dude, fuck yeah.
Black Ops 1 is so fucking good. Specifically because of zombies. I love Nazi zombies in Black Ops 1.
I can't play Kino anymore.
I love Kino. Kino is fantastic. Me and my friend Benji, who I'm looking at from across the street right now, and I, our tradition is we go to Amoeba, where I frequently see people like Tyler. We'll buy some records. We'll bring them back to his place. We'll listen to them. We'll play Kino, or some other games, and then afterwards we'll get late night Taco Bell. And that reminds me that I'm thinking of doing a music video for the song Taco Bell off of the first Pink Eye album. That was just spawned in my brain just now. Anyways, not to go too off topic. Going back to furries. I hate them, but they've been very nice to me lately, so I'm very conflicted.
Like, it's not like I don't hate them. I don't hate them at all. People can be what the fuck they want if they're not forcing on me. But do you think it's a little bit weird?
Say that again.
Do you think it's a little bit weird?
No, it is weird.
Dude. Thank God.
It's totally weird, man. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't say that I hate them. That's an exaggeration. What I should say is I do not necessarily agree with that being a real hobby that I'm supposed to take seriously. I think it's a lot of money being pushed into something that doesn't really amount to anything, which people could argue I'm doing with these Frank videos, but I think it's different because I'm getting a reaction, and a genuinely good one in my opinion, whereas furries, I just am like, dude, there's so much stigma against them. There's been necrophilia cases with furries.
Oh dude,
and, bestiality.
We're recording on Discord, and there's furry people at Discord, so I might get banned after this. It's okay. But
whatever, man. Look, you can be, in the words of Frank, you can be whatever the fuck you want as long as you're chill about it, or whatever he says at the end of Wii. Just be relaxed. You know what I mean? Be low key. You can be really passionate about something and fiery about it in your heart, but still, just keep it low key. Exactly.
Last question. The last important question: do you believe the Earth is flat?
No, I don't believe the Earth is flat. I believe that the Earth is shaped like a dinosaur, and that's why they don't exist anymore. Because all of them got absorbed into the Earth, and so the Earth morphed into a dinosaur shape. And so we are riding on a dinosaur through space right now as I speak. And people who think that the Earth is flat or round, triangular, are all idiots. Because clearly we are on a giant velociraptor.
See, I made a furry video. I made a flat Earth video for my April Fool's video.
Nice.
And people actually thought it was serious on April 1st.
Oh, man. Dude, people still fall for anything on April 1st. I had a homie in English come up to me and be like, dude, I almost was a dad last night because this girl told me she was pregnant. It was the day before though, so this was on April 1st. Yeah, so this girl pretended to be pregnant, but she said, "Read this tomorrow," as in like tomorrow it'll be the joke. And he was like, "Oh my god!" Like that's fucked. I would have been pissed. He wasn't pissed about it. I was like, dude, if somebody played that joke on me, like if my ex or anybody, you know, from my past came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm pregnant," and then said it was JK, I would fucking murder them. That is like,
dude, I wouldn't say I'll lay my hands on a woman, but
yeah,
I may or may not assault a female.
Yeah, no, that is not okay. Women listening, anybody listening, please don't joke. If both of you are sexually active people, please, for the love of God, if you're a young person, do not joke about that. Like anything else, please. Like tell me you are dead. Like fake your death, you know what I mean, before you tell me that I am a dad. Yeah. I'm not ready to be a dad, okay? I'm 20 years old. I'm living in Los Angeles, California, which is one of the most oppressive cities out here. You know what I mean? I do not have the time or the goddamn money to be a father, and definitely not the patience. I'm an impatient asshole. I would not make a good dad for a good couple years at least.
You motherfuckers never had a presidency scare. You motherfuckers never had that happen. I had it once in high school, and every day when she said, "I haven't had my period yet," fuck!
Yeah, no, that's because I've experienced that. I've had that happen where, you know, whoever won't get their period, and it's just like, great, like now I have to, you know, I'll save a bunch of money. I'll think about like, am I gonna get an abortion or not? Like like all this stuff. It's crazy. It's wild. Yeah.
But I think we're gonna end off here, man. I do like talking to you. I want to talk to you a little bit more after all this. But
yeah, this was great.
Just plug in when you want to plug in, man.
I will. I definitely will. Hit me up whenever. I'm assuming you're subscribed, so you'll see the vids whenever.
But what I meant, like, plug into like the video, like how can the world find you?
Oh, you're saying plug myself. Yeah. Merch, link in bio.
Yeah.
So I am TV Filthy Frank 2, the number 2, because I couldn't think of a more creative name. I'm not claiming to be the next Frank. I'm just having fun with the characters. I hope everyone gets
the
that.
Netflix adaptation.
No, the Netflix adaptation. If I see another goddamn Netflix adaptation, I am going to rip my own eyeballs out and shove them up my urethra, okay? I am sick of Netflix adaptation.
Well, fuck.
And I bet I'm going to see a lot of it. I bet I'm going to see a lot of it now that I just said that. Either way, I bet my friends are commenting it right now. You motherfuckers, don't you dare. Anyways, thank you for having me.
Dude, no problem,
I am TV Filthy Frank 2, Eli, Ejmrulz. You guys can hit me up whenever. Follow me on Instagram at Ejmrulz for updates on videos. I'll do behind the scenes stuff there and whatnot. And yeah, I'm not trying to self-promote. I'm letting you guys know that that's where you can find updates and whatnot. So I bid you adieu, Mr. Tyler. Thank you for having me. I see a cat over there. I see a cat. There's a cat. He's too far to pet though, and I heard about ringworm recently, and I was like, dude, I don't want to get fucking ringworm. That would suck.
Oh,
anyways, on that note, my headphones are dying. They're making noises at me that they're about to die. So I will. I'll talk to you soon, Tyler.
All right, man. Just like before they die, I want to talk to you about something. But I think we're getting off here, guys. And like I said, comment, like, subscribe to some videos like this one. And always have a wonderful day.